without my mic.
Welcome to the paranormal and metaphysical world of Twilight Tonight. Host DeeDee Moonflyer grew up with very open-minded parents who had many experiences with UFOs and the paranormal. Because of her mom's insistence on exposing her to spiritual classes, meditation, and teachings of Edgar Cayce, DeeDee had a fascination and deep interest in the paranormal. Her own paranormal experiences have led her to seek out and interview other fascinating, knowledgeable people for better understanding of this phenomenon. Now, your host of Twilight Tonight, DeeDee Moonflyer.
Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to Twilight Tonight. Tonight, I have one of my dearest friends on here, and I have to say, he is not only an amazing medium, he is amazing at crystals, and we're going to discuss full moon crystals. So welcome, Rod Bice, to WLTK-DB tonight. How are you, Rod?
I'm good, DeeDee. How are you?
I'm good. I just wish I could get my sound up for you. I'm so sorry.
We're all good, but we can understand you. We can hear you.
Good. So, Rod, other than being an amazing medium tonight, we're going to talk about full moon crystals for the amazing blue moon. And as we all know, Mercury is in retrograde right now. So when the blue moon happens and after, things are going to get better. So what crystals can people have to help them through all of this and to go on to the next joyous occasion?
Well, this full moon's about new beginnings and transition and letting go of the old and new beginnings. So Afghanite, it's also about connecting with your higher powers. Your spirit guides, your angels. So I chose 3 crystals. 2 are blue, but Afghanite is, as you would expect, from Afghanistan. And it comes in a beautiful light blue to a dark blue color. It's fluorescent, which is one of my favorites.
Yep.
I do have a couple here to show you, of course. So Afghanite, the blue you see in here is actually lazulite, which is very close to lapis lazuli. And let's see if we can get something here. I think it's too bright. Can
It's
you
a little
see?
too bright,
Yeah.
in your lighting.
We'll check it out later. But so I have a couple here. This is another one. It doesn't have as much as the lazulite in it, but it does have some pyrite and other very prominent crystals that are good for protection. This crystal is very good for your working with your third eye and crown chakra. When you use this crystal and you bring the power of your third eye and your crown chakra together, it is very good for meditation. It's very good for connecting with your guides and angels. You'll be able to connect with them in ways that you hadn't been able to connect with them before. It has very high vibration, so when you work with it, you need to start out a little bit slow, get used to the vibration, and as you get used to the vibration, you'll be able to work with it more and more. When you meditate with lazulite, you want to put it on your third eye. And that will help align your energies, align your chakras. Uh, uh, and like I said, it helps connect with the higher energies and spirit guides and angels.
So, Rod, out of curiosity, where is that crystal from?
So originally found from the name Afghanite, Afghanistan, but since it's been found in 1968, it's also been found in Canada, Russia, Germany, Italy, and the U.S. I haven't found a pocket in the U.S., but I'm looking.
Just don't forget about me if you find a pocket in the U.S.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're going to go with our little hammers and we're going to get some.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I mean, this is a rough piece.
God, that's beautiful.
And you can see the deep blues in it, and it has a white base that's also part of the crystal. So this one, still no good. I think it's my light overhead, probably, right? But it's a beautiful crystal. The energy feels really good. This crystal, through working with your guides and angels, will help you find yourself and maintain your spiritual growth. Because I think we're all looking for more.
Yes.
And understanding.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Afghanite also helps remind us that we're not alone, that the universe has a plan for us, and it's going to help us find out what that plan is.
I think that's so important because so many people feel alone right now.
Yep.
With all the changes. It's just been a really rough, I would say at least 4 years for everybody.
Yeah, and I mean, like anything, it waxes and wanes. Sometimes it gets a little better, and then it gets a little worse, and so you're up and down all the time. And I think just having the right crystals around you when you're going through these things to help those low spots get high is the best thing you can do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Meditation.
I agree. Meditation is way up there for me too.
Yeah.
It just makes you feel like a new person. Every time you meditate, you get a new message. And you get that feeling of unconditional love.
Yeah. And for me, when I meditate, I can't always completely clear my mind. And sometimes I'll just let it run. The things I see and the people I'm seeing, I'm like, who are these people? But I'm sure there's a purpose behind all this. So just keep watching.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
It's so important. I think it's important for not only getting focused, but it's also important for healing purposes for yourself. It's important for growth.
Yep. Yeah. Inner peace.
Yes, absolutely. So what other goodies do you have for us?
But before we move on, we can't forget that Louisa Afghanite, being a third eye and crown chakra, enhances your psychic and intuitive abilities, which with this full moon, the super blue moon coming up, you have the energy of the full moon, and then you have an acceleration of that energy with the blue moon. So, and it's going to be helping you connect with your guides and finding your way as well.
Yes.
So
it's a good guidance stone then.
Yeah.
Crystal.
Yep. So our next crystal, and you can't really see it. It looks very white, but it also has some lavender in it. This is called Hackmanite. And again, you can't see it, sorry. But Hackmanite was first discovered in Greenland in 1901. They found deposits of Hackmanite in Afghanistan, Canada, Norway, Russia. none in the US yet. It's a crown chakra, so very good for connecting with your guides and angels. Very good for your psychic abilities, your intuitive growth. It comes in a variety of colors. It comes from anything from a gray to green, yellow, violet, pink, but most commonly it's found as a dusty white, which this is, but it has the layers of lavender in it. So when you see it in person, Dee, you're going to love it.
It's beautiful.
And again, another fluorescent crystal.
And it seems like a lot of crystals for this moon has to do with the crown chakra.
Absolutely. Crown and third eye. Yep.
Is it because you think because of the change that's going to be happening?
I think that's part of it, because part of this is about spiritual growth. So crown, third eye, obviously, are your chakras for that kind of work.
Absolutely.
So one thing I didn't mention was Hackmanite. If you put it out in the sun, it actually changes colors. It'll go back to its original color when you take it back out of the sun, but that's kind of cool.
That's awesome. What will it change to?
So depending on the color of it, it can go to an orange. Usually an orange. Most Hackmanite fluoresces as orange, but the UV from the sun will actually turn the crystal orange. Yeah,
that's cool. They do amazing things, these crystals, man. It's like
they
they're
do.
little people with their own personalities.
And who knew? It comes from the earth, and that's why we have to take care of it.
Definitely.
So, like I said, Hackmanite enhances our mental capabilities, helps to strengthen our mind, which will lead us to the gateway of higher knowledge. It's recommended for personal growth and spiritual evolution. As you continue to work with Hackmanite, you'll learn its true power. So again, it's probably one of those ones that you want to start with a little bit slow, but as you get to know it and it gets to know you and you start working together, you'll understand the true strength of that crystal. Hackmanite helps you peel back the layers. So of your mind, body, and soul. So if you're trying to just get out of your funk, figure out what's going on, this is a great crystal for that.
Lee had a message for us. She said that she's been holding her crystals and they've recently been using them. When I hold them, the crystals, I feel them. I think it's so cool. Rod, no crystals, since they are from the earth, they have immense energy.
They do.
And I think that's important for people to realize that they almost pick you. Is that what you find?
Absolutely. Do you know how many people come into my store and they say, I'm here because I need a piece of amethyst. And all of a sudden they come up with a piece of quartz or a piece of sunstone, something completely different than what they were looking for. And it's because that crystal picked them. They saw it saw them, and they couldn't leave the store without it.
And Lee has a question. Is there a crystal that helps with the pineal gland in the brain?
You know what?
Pineal gland.
Leah, I will have to do some research on that because I am not sure of the answer for that one. But a good question.
Yeah.
Hackmanite's very good for dream recall, expanded awareness, generosity, growth, psychic abilities, and transformation and self-discovery. Mm. So another cool crystal. Not a whole lot of these out there. So when you find one, treasure it.
Yeah. What country are those from, Rod? I think you had told me something about those earlier, that they're very difficult to find.
These are from, the first deposit was found in Greenland, but it's also been found in Russia, Canada, Norway, and Afghanistan now. So while there's deposits of them there, they might not be very big deposits, or they might not be accessible. The crystal I was talking to you about was pink aragonite, and it's only found in the northeast corner of Pakistan. Wait, it's the southeast corner of Pakistan, which that area has been taken over by the Taliban now. So the mine, you can't access it. And when our next crystal, which is azurite, same thing kind of goes for the crystals, the azurite that I have. It's found in a mine in Sonora, Mexico. That's called the Melpis mine. That mine is starting to flood. So they're trying to get out what they can get out, but chances are they won't be able to.
And Robert said basically in the Western Hemisphere then.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow. Do you have any of those crystals, Rod, in your possession?
What's that? The azurite?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do have the azurite, and actually that was our next crystal to talk about. Azurite is another third eye and crown chakra, because this full moon is all about finding ourselves, working with our guides, having them help us understand our purpose and find our way. So azurite, I have some big pieces of azurite. Typically when you find azurite, it's a botryoidal azurite, so a bubble type azurite, or it's very fine crystal, or sometimes even looks like a dust. But I have, from the Melpis mine, actual crystals of azurite, which are very, very rare. Right now, the Melpis mine is the only place you're able to find these. So they are very cool. I'm going to see if I can get a little light.
It almost doesn't do it justice, Rob, because I've seen that in person.
Yeah.
It's like magical.
It is. Malachite, azurite, typically is found with malachite and chrysocolla. So it's a copper-based mineral, but some of the fun facts about azurite is in the ancient Egypt, azurite was used for painting, treating mental disorders, and it was smelted to create copper, as it's a copper-born crystal. As I said, that type of azurite is very expensive because of the crystals. You can see this is just a little cluster of crystals.
So pretty.
It is pretty. And so you can see the little bit of malachite. It's almost like a little thin velvet layer of malachite over the azurite, but the azurite's so brilliant that you can see right through the malachite.
And it's blue.
It's blue. Yes, it is.
My favorite color.
And you can see some of the malachite growing through the back of it.
That is just breathtaking.
Yeah, it's certainly one of my favorite crystals. It's found in Morocco, Russia, Chile, China, Australia, and Mexico. It's about every shade of blue that you could imagine. So I have another piece that's almost like a it's like almost like a royal blue. It's not as deep blue as this is, but it's absolutely gorgeous. So it comes in a variety of different shades. It's very good for helping with psychic abilities, calming, and patience. We all need a little of that. It boosts your confidence, helps with manifestation. So when you're meditating with azurite, put it on your third eye. And if whatever you're manifesting for, keep it there. And then I would write that, what you're manifesting, down on a piece of paper and put a piece of azurite on top of it.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
I need to drape myself in it so I have more patience.
It's going to be an expensive drape.
I love your honesty, Rod.
So it's also helping with your third eye. So inner visions and communication with your guides. It's the premier stone for accessing your psychic abilities. So azurite's out there. A lot of people are looking for it, but trying to find this quality is not exactly easy. And how we looked into finding a guy who actually had a mine in that region, I'm not sure, but I think my guides and angels sent them my way. Azurite's also very good for helping interpret dreams. So dream recall, you can put it on your nightstand. I wouldn't put it in my pillowcase just because I wouldn't do it.
Too active.
Yeah, well, and it's somewhat fragile, and it's really hard to get tumbled azurite.
Yeah.
So it helps you reach new goals, raising your mental awareness and your wisdom. It brings clarity to you to help dispose of negative thoughts, bad habits, and addictions, which that was something new. I know Botswana agate is very good for helping with bad habits and addictions. I didn't realize until I was doing a little more research on the azurite that it also helps with that. So
interesting.
Yeah. So it is a beautiful crystal, and right now we have a lot of them around our house. Actually, I have another one right here.
They're so pretty. They're stunning with that white and the blue.
Yeah.
That's so stunning. That's a good one to put in your bedroom during the full moon.
Yeah. Well, they will be out in the full moon so they can get the energy of the full moon.
That's going to be an amazing moon.
It is going to be an amazing moon.
I'm like really excited about the full moon.
Yeah, it's going to be good. So speaking of the full moon, it's August 30th. It'd be at its fullest at 9:36 p.m. It's called a blue moon because it's the second full moon in the same month. Now, I've heard mixed things on how often this type of moon comes around. I heard from an astrologist that it happens every 2.5 years. However, I read on NASA, it's every 14 years. So according to NASA, we won't see another one until 2037. And that'll be in January and March. But according to the astrologist, it'll be 26. Wow. So
I know we've had some beautiful moons in the past couple of years.
Yeah, we have. And once we get the shop, we will have places to do full moon meditations again.
You know how much I miss those?
Yeah, they were a lot of fun.
It so grounded me being a fire sign. You know, I'm all over the map.
Right.
Very hyper, energy everywhere. I tell you, folks, when you do meditation, it just lets you be. And it's just so calming and healing, and it really focuses you. And this moon will really help, I believe, in focusing people that have been all over the place.
And with DeeDee's voice, It's so smooth and calming that we always make her do the meditation. So I'm going to have to step up and do some meditations once we get reopened.
Yeah, because sometimes I like to lay back too, but
Mhm.
I tell you, there's something about, because of the energy you bring into your store,
Yeah.
I think that helps a lot. And I think it's so important with those crystals all around. The energy you put into it during the day
Yep.
really helps bring out those meditations. And I think those are so important for people for healing purposes.
I agree. And with the new shop, the energy when I first bought the shop, it was good, but it wasn't where I wanted it to be. So I was polyphontoing that place every day. I do have a spirit there, but we made an agreement that he can stay until the shop is finished so he can see it, and then we'll help him cross over.
Yeah, it was funny.
As long as he behaves.
Yes. It was so funny because I would be outside. We worked next door to each other, just so people know. I'd come outside and I'd smell what you were doing, and I was like, ugh. I'd have to like sneak over during work. And be like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so important, that smell. And like you said, we both seen him in there.
Right. Yeah. I haven't told my contractor that he's there, but he stands in a certain place, and for some reason the contractors keep wanting to put all their stuff in that one little corner. So I go over there every night and move it because it doesn't make him happy. So I move it, and then he's good until the next day, and then I go back over and fix it again.
Lee has a question. I don't know if you could see it, Rod. Azurite?
Yeah, it's Azurite. Azurite.
That is, let's see, Robert White. Rob, will you be putting focus on mirrors to shine in the moonlight to recharge the crystals?
So our new shop has 2 huge skylights. So we have all the light that you can imagine coming in through those skylights. And I know this because I was over there working a couple weeks ago, and we didn't have air or anything set up, and the sun was coming through one of those skylights right where we were working. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so hot in here. I'm sweating. And as soon as so I do have to be careful about that. But as soon as I walked out of that skylight, the direction of that skylight, the sun coming through, it was like 10 degrees cooler. So I'm not sure what happened there, but anyway.
Well, we're going to break for a commercial break, Rod. We'll be right back. And if you guys have more questions about crystals, bring them on. Rod can answer them.
I'll try.
Looking for a unique paranormal experience? The Haunted Rock Island YMCA Paracon, October 7th, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. is just the event you're looking for. You will have the opportunity to investigate the Haunted Rock Island YMCA with ACG Paranormal. Visit with over 60 paranormal and metaphysical vendors from 8 or more states. And pre-order your t-shirts at dvinar@aol.com. Visit a psychic gallery reading, mediums, tea leaf reading, animal communication, dream interpretation, aura reading, tarot and oracle card readings, or get a Reiki healing. See a demonstration of the Estes method by Carly Bird. Presentations by Nick Simons and Aaron G. Thompson of 28 Days Haunted, Greg Bakken from Ghostbox Radio, and headliner Rick Hayes, along with many folks you'll see on Paraflix. Be sure to like and follow our sponsors: Paraflix, WLTK-DB Talk Radio LLC, Studio 6 Productions, Unturned Pages, and Ocean Eye Crystals. General admission is only $5 and all proceeds go directly to the haunted Rock Island YMCA. For more information on the haunted Rock Island YMCA Paracon and vendors, look for them on Facebook under events.
We're back with Rod Bice from the Two Crazy Crystal Guys, and we're talking about full moon crystals.
We are. So, DeeDee, one of the things that I think this full moon is specifically for me is that the super blue moon will urge you to go after your big plans in life and focus on the big picture and not get stuck in the details. Do you know how many times you're like, you're just getting too involved, you're getting too involved. So this should help me. So maybe next time we talk, I won't be in the details. Not making promises though.
Are you in your head, Rod? Are you in your head?
Oh yeah, way too much.
Where is his shop? I missed the first few minutes. His shop isn't going to be in Fort Wayne, Indiana. He has a website. And he's relocating. The awesome thing about the new shop is, I don't know where you're from, but Rod specifically highlights his crystals, and it's the most beautiful shop I've ever been in when it comes to crystals. But it's in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Fort Wayne, Indiana will be at 4007 South Wayne Avenue. So the new shop will be opening in October. And like DeeDee said, we have an online presence now, and that is the number 2, Crazy Crystal Guys at, twocrazycrystalguys.com.
Yeah. Also, he does amazing mediumship. So that's something to think about. He gives wonderful readings. I have rave reviews from people that have had readings from him.
Well, thank you. And this full moon energy, I don't know what's going on, but I'm just getting information, and I'm like, okay, who's this for? And I'll text somebody, and I have a friend who's in the hospital right now, and I got a message, stay positive. So I just texted him and said, the spirits want you to stay positive. He said, my hair is falling out. He's undergoing some cancer treatment. So he's like, my hair is falling out. And I was like, I thought so, but spirit wants you to stay positive.
Yeah. And you know what, Rod? We should ask everybody to send your friend positive, loving, healing energy.
That would be awesome.
So everyone out there, if you're watching tonight, send positive energy to this guy, because that is a hard thing to go through.
It is. And this person is very, he's private. So that's why I'm not saying his name. But he's also he's a leader in the community, and not a lot of people know what's going on with him. And he never told me, Spirit told me. So he asked me about some healing crystals, and I asked him some questions, and he was like, yeah, that's it. So, and it was about where the cancer was at. So, but yeah, send all the positive energy you have for him. He's in Mayo Clinic in Rochester right now.
Rochester, New York?
Minnesota.
Somebody send positive energy that way.
Yep.
It's like, send lots of love. That's a very hard thing for people to go through.
It is. He had lost a sister due to cancer when she was 47. But she's the persistent one knocking on my shoulder saying, tell him this, tell him that. Sometimes this is a funny little story. Sometimes when I go into the grocery store, a number will pop into my head, and I'll just buy that lottery ticket. So the day I had been talking to him, his sister, right before I went into the store, was tapping me on the shoulder, telling me stuff. And I went into the store, and I heard number 11. So I bought a number 11. It was a $20 ticket too. I went out, scratched it, not a thing. The number 11 wasn't for me to buy a lottery ticket. The number 11 was for my friend to make that connection with his sister. She was born and passed in the month of November.
Oh,
So
that would make sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was trying to tell you, yes.
yep.
Absolutely.
And so when my lottery ticket lost, I asked my friend, does the number 11 mean anything to you? Absolutely. And then he validated. So
Wow. Sometimes when we listen, it's kind of hard to like separate. You're like, where's this coming from?
Who's it for? Is this for me or is this for somebody else?
You're like, I want that lottery ticket.
Yeah. Yes. But
So, Rod,
okay, I'll get off the lottery ticket stories.
what do you think of Moonstone for this full moon?
Well, the moonstone is a comforting, nurturing stone. It's a feminine stone. I think this energy is different than that. I think there's going to be some healing that it would be good for. Healing of past life traumas, just letting go of negative thoughts, behaviors, that kind of stuff. So it will help with that.
And I think it's really important. You hear my dog?
It's how it is.
That's creepy.
Yeah.
Gryffindor is like jumping up and down. I think it's really important with this new moon for that family trauma healing.
Mm-hmm.
And when I tell this to people, they always look at me like I'm crazy, but in families there are traumas, and once you heal them, you can start to grow.
Absolutely. And it's all, this full moon's all about releasing negative energy and just letting go, which the azurite is the same thing with releasing bad behaviors. He's having fun. He is having fun.
He is like running around, jumping, which he never does when I podcast.
So, so with this full moon, any type of ritual or meditation or manifestation you do is going to be amplified, because you already have the energy of the full moon, and then you add the extra energy of the blue moon. So all those practices are going to be amplified. So make your desires known, but be cautious about it.
Yeah. I think that's really important for people to realize that too. When these full moons happen,
Mm-hmm.
be careful what you wish for. Be careful even with rituals in full moons.
Absolutely.
Because
Especially
some
with the
full moons
amplified
are meant
energy.
for ritual.
Right. Yep.
They're meant to be laid back and take the message.
Mm-hmm. It absolutely is. But when I'm not saying don't manifest, don't set intentions, because doing it for the right reasons, and that's obviously why we do it anyway. You're going to have that extra energy to carry that manifestation and help you get set your intentions.
Absolutely.
With this full moon, you're really encouraged to take matters into your own hands.
Yeah.
It's going to urge you to venture into the unknown.
I'm always
Sorry.
saying unknown, Rod.
Yeah, me too. Probably more than I should be. So it's going to urge us to go after big life plans and focus on big picture and not get stuck in the details, which we talked about a little bit. And then it's a really good time for inner reflection and self-discovery.
Absolutely.
So some of the ritual type stuff or things to do during the full moon is meditating, journaling, simply taking quiet time for yourself. And that's part of that self. Yeah, I think we all do. Yep. And that's going to help us release and let go. I don't think I'm moving my mouse enough.
You know, it's funny. Every time we talk, something strange happens. There's been like several times me and Rod have tried to podcast together, and things just go crazy.
Yeah, we were actually a few months ago going to podcast about the full moon and some rituals and stuff like that, and the podcast just quit. I mean,
yeah, we don't know why.
3 times.
Yeah. And we're actually going to be doing a podcast as soon as things settle down. But every time we try to do work, it's just like something in the universe goes, not yet.
That's
patience, right. Patience.
So tonight we were getting ready to go live and DeeDee's mic starts crackling.
Well, that's no surprise. Poor Todd's probably like, that girl's microphone never works. The weirdest stuff happens on my show.
Yeah.
I'm ready for anything on this show anymore.
Yeah.
You got a crystal for that, or I could just be like, woo.
I would give you a little bit of lepidolite for that.
Okay. Make a crown.
Calm, relaxing. Yeah. Yeah. Lepidolite actually has a little lithium in it that might help as well. It's a natural. It's a natural makeup of the mineral. Hey, I sleep with one by my bed, so that one I do put under.
You should make like comforters with it in there.
Yeah.
So people could sleep sound.
Yeah.
So what's your next crystal?
Well, those were the big 2 that I, or the big 3 that I had planned for us tonight. Do you want me to see if I turn out my lights, if we can get these to fluoresce?
Yeah, let's watch them glow. I love to watch them. I love the fluorescence of all the crystals.
All right. So I'm going to pull it back a little bit. Oh, well.
Kind of, sort of.
There, you can see a little bit. Oh, let me turn it
so
way.
Pretty.
Yeah.
So, Rod, if you had a room full of that kind of light, like blue light, would it show?
Yes. This is like a little tray. And this is little tumble pieces that you can.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's like a spiritual Spencer's.
It is. And I love my fluorescents.
I know. Remember those fluorescent like posters when we were kids?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
So let's see if we can get. We're gonna have to figure this out for the next show. Be
awesome.
But it's always good to have. Can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
I can't hear you. Oh,
you can't hear me?
Now I can. It's always good to have a little clear quartz around, because don't forget, your clear quartz is your amplifier. It energizes all your other crystals.
I have my clear quartz.
Yep.
You see it?
I do see it back there. This is my clear quartz that I use with readings. And this is my little clear quartz skull. His name is Oscar. And anytime I do a road trip, he rides shotgun.
Every time I get into Rod's truck, Oscar is with us.
That's right.
Every time. Oscar is right in the middle. Maggie and Oscar.
And so Dee has the Maggie, which is the bird behind her.
Oh.
And I have a Maggie, which is my Shih Tzu. So
Yes.
we both have Maggies. But don't forget,
Maggie's.
don't forget that clear quartz is one of the most protective stones of any of the crystals out there. It amplifies energy of the other crystals. So if you're working with azurite or lazulite and you kind of work with these together, it's going to amplify all the properties of the azurite. So that's one of my happy stones. But I also have Super 7 here.
I love Super 7.
Yeah. This is a gorgeous tower. And Super 7 is made up of 7 different crystals. It's only found in the Holy Lands of Brazil. Even if one of the crystals is not physically in a crystal, it still carries the properties as though it had all 7 crystals. So I will attempt to give you those 7 crystals. It's amethyst, clear quartz, rutile, smoky quartz, geophyte, coaxinite, and I got 6. I'm missing one.
Amethyst?
Amethyst, yeah. So it's amethyst, clear quartz, smoky quartz, rutile, geophyte, coaxinite. And the coaxinite you can kind of see is kind of that red that's like right in here. So, and obviously you can see that the amethyst, but yeah, it's a gorgeous stone.
And it's so pretty. Like when you pick them up, you can feel their energy.
Oh yeah, this
Very
is one
strong.
you can, very high vibration. I mean, it has every high vibration crystal in it. Very good for connecting with your higher powers, used for your intuition, your psychic abilities. It's an awesome crystal. This one I use during my readings as well. And then
We have 4 minutes left, Rod. Tell me some of your favorite crystals you're going to definitely be using for your full moon meditation.
So I will be using azurite, which we talked about. I will be using my Super 7, and I'll obviously have some quartz there to amplify those properties. I haven't worked. I've only had the Afghanite for a couple weeks, and I haven't really worked with it a whole lot. I might try a little bit of Afghanite. And one of the things that when you're working with crystals, you'll hear people say that you program the crystal. I don't program the crystal. I ask the crystal to help me with whatever I'm working on. And
Yes.
so whatever properties of the crystal that I'm looking for it to help me with, I ask the crystal to help me with those properties.
It makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Asking them permission. I mean, they are older than any of us.
They are.
They
They are
years.
millions, billions of years old. Yeah.
How about blue topaz? Lee wants to know.
So blue topaz is a throat chakra, so it's good for communication. Are you asking if it's good for the full moon? And if you are, I would say yes, because part of this full moon is speaking your truth.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Rod, how do people get a hold of you for a reading or to get crystals from you?
You can actually reach out to me on the website. Again, the number 2, crazycrystalguys.com. You can also email me at the number 2, crazycrystalguys@gmail.com.
Yes, and people keep in mind, if you have questions about crystals, Rod is really knowledgeable and he can answer those questions and he'll also find out for you. So
Absolutely.
reach out to him. Rod, it's been a pleasure as always. You're one of my dearest friends. I love you dearly and thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me, and I love you just the same.
I'll see you very soon. I'll probably see you tomorrow.
Probably. All right. Have a good night.
Good night. Thank you, Todd and Brianna. I appreciate you, Rod.
Thank you.
The truth is here and now on WLTK-DB Talk Radio at WLTK-DB.com.